Hi, welcome to another episode of Broadcasting Northwest Florida. I'm Jennifer Connolly with Florida's Great Northwest, and today I'm really thrilled to have Wayne Stubbs, who's the Executive Director of Port Panama City, with us today. So Wayne, so excited to hear about some of the great things that are happening at Port Panama City. Why don't you start with an overview for our audience to get more familiar with the port?
Okay. All right, Jennifer, and thank you for inviting me to be on the podcast with you today. I'm happy to do that. Kind of a broad overview of the Port of Panama City is that, we're a regional port. We're not a mega hub port like a Charleston or an LA or a Miami, but we're an important regional port. We're a growing regional port, and, we make a kind of an oversized contribution to the economic activity in the area for our size. We handle about 2 million tons a year of cargo, and that's, kind of reflects fairly steady growth over the last decade and a half. We handle a nice mix of cargo, a nice diverse mix of cargo, which has protected us from sort of swings in the economy. We have import, we have export, we have bulk cargo, we have general break bulk cargo, we have containerized cargo. So that, if one thing is down, usually something else is up. So we've been very, very resilient. We weathered Hurricane Michael. I mean, we lost about $1 million worth of revenues over that 4 weeks just following the hurricane, and we had 17 million in damages, but we actually had a better year that year than the year before at the end of the day. And that's a testament to how hard our people worked, came together to pick things up and put them back into business and make it work. So we're growing, we're resilient. We recently expanded to a new terminal, what we call the East Terminal, which was an older port facility, if you will, that was privately owned by the paper mill on the west side of town in Millville area. It was, getting very tired. It was somewhat obsolete, shallow water approaches to that berth. And so we have stepped in and purchased that from them. They've agreed to kind of form a partnership with us and sell that land to us. And we've been able to modernize that facility, which I could talk a little more about later if you like. But that's been the kind of the biggest news lately. We keep working on developing our IDC. We create a fair amount of jobs related to the cargo activity. I think about 1,250 jobs the last time that was studied. But the biggest economic impact and the biggest contribution we make to employment in the area is by supporting companies like Berg Steel Pipe, Oceaneer, Westrock, even Train with our distribution warehouse on 231. I think there's another 6,000 jobs in the region that are somewhat dependent on the port. So that's something we're very, very proud of, and we always remember that. It's fun to grow our cargo activity, but the best bang for the buck is to attract new industry and support existing industry. So,
Wayne, you've got a lot of exciting things happening in the future of Port Panama City. You were just sharing with me about really looking at your five-year plan. I'd love for you to share some of that with our audience today.
okay, well, sure. Our master plan process is something that we try to do every 5 or 6 years. I think because of the hurricane and other things, we've let about 7.5 years go by since our last master plan. And so we're actually putting money in our budget now to pick up that process and to work on a full-blown master plan for the port next year. But a few years ago in the interim, we did do a strategic investment plan to see where we needed to be going in the interim, and we really have identified the best opportunities for the port, we think, right now, and we're pushing hard to make that a reality. There's really 3 components of that. The East Terminal, of course, is a big one. We've gotten the first phase built. The dredging is being done right now. We've already attracted a brand new monthly service to the Far East to that terminal. We've got services going to Europe in that terminal. We've got imported lumber starting to arrive at that terminal. So we're off to a great start there. We're working with local partners and DOT to improve the road access to that facility. There's a new bridge being built. So we're in great shape in terms of getting the first phase off the ground. So now we start the hard work of looking at permitting and finding the capital to extend the berths by 600 feet so we can get to 2 full big ship berths to add more warehousing. And eventually we have about 4 years in which to exercise an option to purchase 30 more acres over there. So the East Terminal is still a big focus. That gives this port decades of new growth. It helps us achieve a scale that makes us more healthy and more viable as a modern seaport, able to handle the big ships and provide the equipment and services that the customers demand from ports these days. That takes scale. Back at the West Terminal, because we're going to be able to move a lot of cargo over to the East Terminal, we're going to be able to open up space on the West Terminal, and we're going to commit that to continue growing our niche container trade. I mean, we're not going to ever be a major container port, but we are handling about 50,000 containers a year between here and Mexico. We're the most active container port with Mexico, believe it or not, of all the U.S. ports. We have a great partner in Linear Peninsula with 3 ships every week back and forth to the Yucatan. The Yucatan is growing. They're attracting a lot of new industry. A lot of it supports the auto industry in our region. So we're in a great place to continue growing that niche and really, you know, making something special here for this region, connecting us to that Mexican industry down there. And then finally, we're focused on finishing out the development of the IDC, Intermodal Distribution Center. Our big 250,000 square foot warehouse is totally full up there and busy. FedEx is up there, they're busy. We've got a bulk transfer facility, but we're out of construction ready sites for more warehousing on the front side of the park. And we really feel like the 54-acre certified industrial site on the back side of the park needs to be expanded so that if we do have success attracting one company, we're not out of ammunition to keep working on attracting others. So we recently got a grant from Trump Gulf Coast, $3 million, and we're going to put another $1.5 million of the Port Authority money with that. And we're going to finish out the development of the sites and extend the road up there, create more pad-ready sites for warehouse distribution expansion. So those are the 3 things: the East Terminal, the container capacity at the West Terminal expansion, and then finishing out the basic infrastructure for growth up at the IDC.
Wow, that's a lot of activity, a lot of long-term growth for Northwest Florida, and we certainly appreciate Port Panama City's role in supporting economic development.
Well, you know, we also have fun at what we do here, so it's good. It's all good.
That's right, absolutely. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of Broadcasting Northwest Florida. If you'd like to learn more about Port Panama City or any of our other great assets, please don't hesitate to reach out or visit us online.